Firstly, can I ask you about the COVID situation? How is everyone at Liverpool? And what do you make of the new regulations, the new measures that have been brought in to ensure that the players are tested every day, moving forward with the rise of the new variant?
Oh, I think that's absolutely, I support these new measures, absolutely, that we get tested every day and twice a week or before the games, PCR tested. It's absolutely fine. So how it is in these times, I'm earlier here on the training ground than most of the players. So it means we get tested before we arrive, go then back to the cars, and when the lateral flow is negative, then we are allowed to enter the training ground. So yesterday we were all negative, and we hope that is the same is the case for today. And that's it pretty much. We are, like the whole world, concerned about it, absolutely, but we do what we can, and the vaccination status of the team is quite good. I think we got all boosted who were eligible to get boosted. Means for some medical reasons, some were not allowed in that moment, but they will be done in the next few days, and the rest is got a booster a few days ago, and hopefully, we can do that with the whole team.
Jurgen, you mentioned the vaccination status of your squad there and the boosters. Is that something that, moving forward, you're likely to take into consideration when it comes to potential signing of players?
Didn't think about it yet, to be honest. I don't know. Whatever, who knows where we will be, whether in which situation the world will be when we start signing players again, all these kind of things. But it's not important in the moment. It's important in the moment. It's important, and I think that's just the whole thing. The whole vaccination thing is for me a massive. It's a question of solidarity, loyalty, and togetherness, and we have all the chance to help not only ourselves but other people as well by getting vaccinated. And I think there are no two possible answers. There's only one answer, so you do it, and that's how I understand it. And but that's how I said, we have, it's not only the squad, everybody who's working here at the AXA training ground is at least double vaccinated, and will get a booster as soon as possible for him or her.
You face Newcastle tomorrow, Jurgen. They've signed someone from you in the last few days, the last week, in the shape of one of your performance analysis, Mark Leyland. What was the thinking behind that? And does that give Newcastle does that give them a little eye into your camp ahead of the match tomorrow?
Yeah, it does, absolutely. We couldn't change that. Mark was here longer than I was here. He was incredibly important member of our staff with his post-match analysis and individual and the analysis he did with the players, and all this kind of stuff. So and the top guy on top of that, but he had the chance to get a more senior role at Newcastle, which we couldn't offer here, and he was eager to make the next step in his career. So now we could have said, yeah, we can only start in 3-4 weeks or whatever, all these kind of things. But in this world, in the moment, in football world, everybody knows everything anyway, apart from the lineup. And Mark doesn't know our lineup for tomorrow. So, but he knows obviously how we play football. But if anybody with a football brain has a closer look, knows how we play football. So there's now not too many secrets anymore. So we were happy to let him have, or let him use this opportunity, and it is an opportunity for him. So good people should be treated in a good way, and that's what we did with Mark.
Fantastic. Thank you, Keith. We go to Max for 2 questions from PLP.
Hello, Jurgen.
Hi.
Sergio Aguero has just announced his retirement from football. 260 goals for Manchester City. What impact do you think he's had on the Premier League?
Yeah, massive. But first and foremost, I really feel for the boy, because it's we obviously made a move to Barcelona, not to retire, but to have another exciting chapter in his career. And now he was not able really to contribute because of his issues, and I really feel for him. Yes, he had a great career, and there will come a moment when he will see that as well, and we'll see if 33 is an age where other people retire as well, but for other reasons. But of course, for him in the moment, I'm pretty sure he's like in a shock. But that's how it is when you have get the news first yourself that you have to announce something like this. The impact he had on the Premier League, the impact he had on football was incredible. I think the whole time at City, even before Pep arrived there, the the goals he scored, the importance of the goals he scored, and then since I'm here, when we played against them, even when he was not too busy with scoring against us, but it was a massive. He scored a very important one, at least I remember, and so he's a great player. I don't know him as a person, but as a player, I can say one of the best I ever faced.
Thank you. And finally, with 5 more fixtures still to come this month across all competitions, how do you like to keep the players on the edge of the starting 11 involved and ready?
Everybody is involved and everybody must be ready. But there's nothing, I have no special things to offer. We play 5 games in 13 days. So there's no time for have a look or whatever. What can we do? We have to play in an idle world the best football possible, then recover pretty quickly, and then get focused again and go again. That's what we have to do, the whole squad. But that's not new. I'm not here since a few days. I'm here for a few years now, and that's how it is. This time is very demanding for everybody, but that's how it is.
So I'm going to go through the panelists now for the open section still. We're going to try and limit it to 1. If you need a follow-up, by all means, please do. But we're going to go Juliet from the BBC, then Ian from TalkSport, James from BBC Merseyside, Mark Opton from ESPN, Carl from PA, James Pearce from The Athletic. That's our running order. So Jules, you're up first. Juliet.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Jurgen. If I could have 2, that would be great. Only 2 little ones. In terms of Roberto Firmino and Curtis Jones, how are they looking? And the chances are, because obviously if they are returning to fitness, it's a good time for them right now to do that.
Yes, absolutely. So Bobby trained completely normal yesterday. So I would say he's in contention. And Curtis had the first session like partial with the team. So he's not far off. And timing wise could be better, to be honest. We all know, busy period. We need a full squad, and getting 2 players back of this caliber is obviously good news. So that's it.
And secondly, just picking up on something you were saying to Keith about COVID and the vaccination status, do you think further down the line that it will be part of the requirement for the transfer of players going forward?
I really don't know. And look, now again, don't get me wrong, but whatever I say now, you make the wrong things of it, because the headline will be tomorrow: Klopp signs only players when they are vaccinated. And I cannot do things like this. I didn't think about it. You thought obviously all about it. That might be a subject. I didn't think a second about it, what we will do in a situation like that, because I didn't have to yet. In the moment I will have to think about it, and we have to make decisions. If you sign a player, you sign a player for plenty of reasons. And if that will be one of them, I don't know yet.
Fair enough. Thank you, Jules. We go to Ian from TalkSport.
Hi, Jurgen. How are you?
I'm good, Ian. Hi.
The Premier League have said that they've turned down other requests for games to be postponed because of COVID. There seems to be people don't seem to understand the rules about when games should or shouldn't be postponed. Are you worried about matches being called off because of COVID? And moving forward, do you think that the African Nations Cup should be called off because of COVID?
Okay, first, let's start with the second one. There's really nothing to say. Really other authorities or real authorities have to decide these kind of things. I have no idea how the situation is around the world exactly. That's how it is. So I don't know that. In the Premier League, it would be, I think, pretty helpful if we would really know exactly about the case. So from my point of view, I don't understand 100% why we are not more open. So obviously a lot of people catch COVID in a moment, get COVID. That's how it is. So I would be completely fine if I catch it, hopefully not, but if, it would be completely fine to tell, okay, I have it. So that's how it is. Why we hide players and all these kind of things and do like nobody knows the number of players who has it, and it's always a little bit like some stuff, some players. Come on, say it, and then everybody can understand why you are not able to play. So these kind of things, I would prefer that, but I'm not sure if that's from a legal point of view possible. I don't know that, but it would be helpful. So because we just have no idea. So in a moment when we play Tottenham on Sunday, we have no idea who is okay. If they play tomorrow night, then we might have a little idea, but apart from that, we have absolutely no idea who is able to play or not. That's different to usual preparation for a game. It's not the most important subject, but it shows that the informations could be really slightly different. But how I said, I don't know if that's possible from a legal point of view, but it's something which we are all in the same situation as human beings, and I really think nobody should hide it. So it's absolutely helpful when people around yourself know that you are not in the best place, so then they can help you. But if you have no idea about it, then people can doubt it or whatever. And that's why I think a bit more transparency would be helpful.
Thank you. James from BBC Merseyside, and then Mark Ogden, if Mark still has a question from ESPN.
Hello, Jurgen. Good afternoon. Given the wins over Wolves and Aston Villa in the last two games, your team sort of having to learn a different way of winning games at the moment. Is patience the key, and do you think you'll need that against Newcastle?
Yes, we need that, the football kind of patience, of course. But the difference between the Wolves game and the Aston Villa game and the games we played before, when everybody asked us, or when we had this long streak of scoring more than 2 goals or whatever, is we didn't use the chances. I think we all agree that we could have scored against Wolves more than once and against Aston Villa as well. So we didn't use it. And then that's the kind of patience you always need in football, that you really work really hard, but patient and direct, and as direct as possible until the final whistle, because there's always a chance to score a goal, obviously. And for that you are in a situation that one goal is enough to win a game, you have to defend on your absolute top level, and that's what we have to do as well. So Newcastle, when you look at a team which played now the last game, that's a really good football team. In all positions, really good players. So, and the Leicester game was obviously, when you watched it, not a 4-0. It was a 4-0, obviously, but it didn't look like. And they had their chances, they had their moments, they had possession. And that's the team we expect, and not the team who lost 4-0 against Leicester. So, and anyway, obviously it's not, Newcastle doesn't have endless time to get out of that situation. And the next after us, they face, I think, City and United, if I'm 100% right. So obviously it doesn't get much easier, and so we expect them fighting for absolutely everything, and that's what we have to make sure that we are ready for that fight. Thank God for this. In this moment, we play at home at Anfield, and the people were brilliant against Aston Villa, and that's the minimum for performance we need again from the stands. From the first second, we have to be there really, and make sure that we get the result we want and not the other way around.
Thank you, James. We go to, in order now, Mark Ogden, Carl Markham, James Pearce, and then to the embargoed sector, if people want to start putting their hands up for that. But Mark, sorry, first from ESPN.
Hi, Jurgen. I just want to follow up on what Ian asked earlier about the African nations, and I appreciate that you probably don't know as much as any of us do in terms of whether it's going to go ahead or not. But in terms of if it is going ahead, have you got any clarity as to when the players will be going, when you can keep them back? And additionally, there's some suggestion that Joel Matip might be considering a return for Cameroon. Have you spoke to Joel about that?
Yeah, and no, he didn't. He doesn't consider. When I spoke to him, I asked him, he said, no, that's just one of the news out there in the world which have nothing behind. So let me say it like this. That was the answer for the Joel question. The other question, no, we don't know. We don't know exactly. There will be a moment when the national coaches will announce their plans, their things, and then we will know as well. We try to be in conversations, and we are, but the decisions will be made somewhere else, and we have to wait for that.
Are you happy with that? Because it seems that every time this tournament comes around, that it's always a bit vague as to when players can stay and when they can go. Do you think there should be more clarity in terms of when the cut-off point, basically?
I'm not Mark.
I think you can understand why this is now really not a question for me to answer. If I'm happy about that or not.
No, but in terms of when you're allowed to let them go, not in the tournament being on, when you can plan for the players.
Look, the problem. I will not answer the question. That's it.
I think Mark, if you have a look, I think there is guidelines as to what the date is, which you can check obviously with the relevant government bodies, and then it's between the clubs and the country. I think if they're extended, but that's different too. I'm pretty sure there is a deadline when they can be compelled to go, but I'll let you check that out on your time. We'll go to Carl Markham from Press Association.
Hi, Jurgen.
I got
just to go back quick on Newcastle, really. Since Eddie Howe has come in, what changes have you noticed that he's made? Improvements he's done?
More possession, more shots on target, more shots in general. So obviously more offensive things. That's it. As you can see that I know Eddie for a long time now as a colleague, and we played against Bournemouth quite frequently, and you can see glimpses of the Bournemouth style. But look, they played now 4-4-2 in majority of the games, but with Bournemouth against us at Anfield when we won 2-1 and they caused us some problems, they played a 4-5-1. So they might consider that these kind of things. But yes, of course. Meanwhile, Eddie's a few weeks there, and of course you can see his influence.
Thank you, Carl. And then to finish, James Pearce from The Athletic, and then again we've only got David at the moment for the embargoed section. Any other hands, please put up now, but we'll finish this section with James Pearce.
Hi, Jurgen. Can I just ask you about Joe Gomez? Obviously, it's been a frustrating season for him so far, coming back from that serious injury and then picking up that calf problem that I think he missed, 6-7 weeks. There's been reports recently, speculation that he could even be loaned out in January. I just wondered if you could clarify that, or do you still see him as having a really important part to play in the second half of the season?
Yeah. So it was obviously not the best year for Joe with the injury, and then coming back have another injury, because that's how it can go. So we didn't rush his recovery or rehab from the tendon injury, but there's a moment you start playing again, training again, and all these kind of things, and then you need after long term. We had then 3 100% fit center halves, 4 100% fit center halves. That's why it's not so easy to get game time immediately. Then you have game time, then you play, and then the body's not ready for it. So that's it. It's just we are patient, and I think Joe is patient now as well. That's the situation, and I don't have no plans to give anybody on loan in the winter. So I will not the thriving force. Let me say it like this. Nobody came to me yet and asked me, can I go somewhere? So Joe is now only back for a proper week or so. But because of the circumstances and things like this, he could be involved in the squad, but he needs still time. He needs still time to train to get where he has been before.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Okay, we go to the embargoed section now. So those of us